Imagine now you sit in the classroom, then you don't know what to do. Maybe you are like 6 years old. Maybe you are just your age, but you just don't know what to do. A lot of different age of people in there. Um, that's fine. Just um, we don't need to really teach you something. We don't really need to like be a content like lecture, and I need to do that. But we can like the style of like guide. Um, that would be like so the environment will based on what you maybe what would you do constantly changing. So for example, if you just sit in there, then maybe this the environment will change because you just only sit in there do nothing. um, and for example, if you do something different, like you're trying to team up with people, or maybe you try to um, having an idea, like starting an idea and then say yes to people, maybe the environment will change also for that. So over time you will see like different group of people, they do different decision and then they have different outcome. And that definitely, maybe that's one final team they will like um maybe they will create something, maybe they will have some whatever results based on what they're working on or cooking on. um, they will need to, the first thing definitely is that um, so let's say about the first thing, how I imagine how this cycle going to work. It's a little bit similar to startup, but in the sense that a little bit different. um, it's much safer and they are well funded. You can say basically just everyone who are student or maybe who want to be a student, um, you can try it. Yeah, I mean we don't really give like a heavy funding, to be honest, but I think basics still have like, yeah, it depends on, but just it's I think that um, I think more importantly is the like access to the people, yeah, and then the right people will be really important. I mean, that will much more important than how much money you will get, because money you're going to like maybe like employ the people, right? I mean, so um, you access to the right people is much more valuable than money you get. Um, you could see um, based on what the things that you create, and then that would be a feedback directly from what the market going to respond to your things. So for example, we also see a lot school, they have some, I don't know, say project or whatever, but that project they don't really reflect the real market interest. Maybe they are in the very beginning they just a bad idea, and if that's a bad idea, I think then we can use a lecture to teach the student. But like YC also do that. YC they have a channel, right, talk about what's a good idea, what's not. um, like we really want to stop people early, like when we see this kind of bad pattern. But we want to also give the first thing we want to give the better way to teach them this. It's like much more realistic way, like let them feel it, or maybe like feel it from the reality, or maybe like feel it in the conceptual way. um, but yeah, I mean that's a lot of learning about like how you adjust the people, right? Just like how you fine tuning the human, and at the same time also let them to explore. Maybe in the same time let them to start it, to spinning. But um, so definitely that's the first thing, is how we start spinning, or how to start an idea. That's, always, all the YC company also asks that too. um, we can not really choose an idea for other people. Just if you're a teacher, maybe in a startup school, um, just I think much more closer to, um, like definitely for myself, or for maybe for other people too, is that we using some tool, or maybe we ex- explore some tool. We using these, and we kind of learn like how we can improve it. Definitely, it's kind of feel a little bit natural. I think something just very natural, is like the way that you use it, or the way that you think. Yeah. Mm, that really going to, I mean, just so you can say the time. Sometimes we really spend some time to think about like what is it, or why that matter, and what is the problem was today. Like you kind of observe the world, and then you process that. Mm. And I think we want the people have this ability, right? And that's two way to make that happen. Is first thing I think is the motivation. You know, just something for sure, something in there actually motivate the people. We're not really teach them, hey, you need to be motivated, you need to be innovator. No, you say that it's useless, but it's a motivation. That's why I say environment, because environment change people a lot. Um, it's not also it's not like mission, because like you give people mission, definitely they can go to complete it. It's a when they want to. But environment, they will like, it's a feedback from what they're doing, and when you give the feedback, they will keep trying because they are human. Um, you also can tell them to keep trying, and they will finally find one, and they will think that's their discovery, and that raw feeling, it's the better way. Like, hey, that's the right feeling, and then they will say, oh yeah, then I should do this. Um, I think this is like how education should be. It's like they will tell you, hey, this is the direction I should go, right? And then you say yes. It's like a little like Q&A. Yeah, yeah. You keep changing, and then but the no, how you say the no, I think it's and how you let them feel the no. It's very important. Um, so for example, to you, like let's say now I'm building a project called Roma Just Talk. Isn't this will work or not? If some people say no, maybe I will still keep working on. 10 people say no, maybe I will still working on. Depends on how they are no. I mean, if they just only say no, it couldn't really let me feel, okay, this is a project that I shouldn't working on, spend time on. But if they say like, okay, mm, say, maybe say a reason that actually logically fit, or maybe they tell me in a way that, hey, I have better idea. You shouldn't working on this anymore. It's working with me. I have other much bigger, larger ideas here. Um, so it's all about that. Just like you will agree on people. Um, Definitely like in this scenario, it's not really personal. Like let's say much more personal is that, let's say, hey, let's go together. Let's go together working on this idea. This English learning app. You love English, right? So let's go do it together. So like this thing, I was really excited on, because I'm indeed that much more passionate about English. Well, you can say human language here, like uniform things, rather than detection. Yeah. So I did much prefer to working on detection later, or maybe like it's a side project, or maybe let other people do it, like like that. So um, this is like how you're going to like really like trying to, but this is like you didn't really, but it's a little bit more personal. But I mean, it's like it's not really changing a people. I mean, I'm still me. I'm still loving English or whatever. I think like how you're really speaking on changing a people. I think it's like um let's say okay. How about let's say that this. So let's say sleep early. In the past, I'm a person that basically just disrupt my sleep all the time. Like I just like maybe sleep 6 hours. I'm just feel fine. I sleep late. Always sleep late. Just like every day sleep late, like 1 hour or 3 hours late, and then like so you will see my time rhythms like maybe today's at the 5 o'clock in the morning, and one or three at the 7 o'clock in the morning, and then like complete a full cycle. Yeah, a little like that. So it's a little bit. It's not fun actually, but why I do that? If you're asking me, do I want to live longer? I will tell you yes, I want to live longer. And you can see this is going to apply to anyone in the world. Just when you tell them, do you want to be good people? Do you want to like, do you want to use ChatGPT? Do you want to, um, just like any good thing you can think of, they will actually tell you, yes, I want to be that. I want to do the right thing. I think that people is good. Even you think they are wrong, but I think you are wrong. I think we should trust these people. Just like we aren't enemy, you know, but just the angle that we see, or maybe the results of how we become, change how we perceive the world, and then like kind of have a reality mismatching here. In this case, this is sleep. I think when I sleep doesn't really affect. It doesn't really matter. But the truth is, it actually matter. And then that's how I know, and who changing me to this. I think it's a two key player in here. The first player I think it's a ChatGPT. The second player definitely it's a Brian Johnson. Yeah. So definitely you can see the first one I think is the ChatGPT, because then I just ask you ChatGPT, hey, should I sleep early? Like why I should sleep at the night? Yeah. It doesn't really give me a it's based on what I can recall. It doesn't really give me a that is maybe it's a 4. I think it's a 4. I think ChatGPT 4. And then I just ask him like why should I sleep? Yeah, it's just actually the time that I'm thinking is that I want to live longer. Why I want to live longer? Very very simple, and then also very very interesting is that I want to. I'm thinking on. Wait a minute. DNA editing, it's really excited, and if I live a little bit longer, maybe like 10 years longer, maybe 5 years longer, I can actually reach where the point that actually DNA editing advanced enough, and like self healing. And I mean, then the first things that I just find out, if you do can, editing of DNA, and then like DNA gonna like change your like healing everything that it breaks, because like the problem of why our current body is that it don't really healing to you. Like if you lost an arm, it will not really go back anymore. But why it doesn't go back is just very simple, because cancer. Yeah. The the revolution, stuff, or maybe they just aren't that optimized. But just like if you editing it, and then you program your own body, and then like you prevent the cancer, and then healing everything, and then because you don't care about the multiplication like in your cells, that's still fine for you. I mean, yeah, I mean just like you just copy the the elephant, right? They have a very great DNA that prevent the cells copying. It's called a mutate to the cancer. So I mean, it's really exciting. Like, okay, that sounds really logical to me, and then I going to believe, okay, so DNA editing, once DNA editing work, like you can program human, then we can program human to where every cell can healing everything, because they actually, all of them, they are remember what, just like you can see baby, right? So it's logically possible to don't die, and it's not too hard, just DNA editing, just like CRISPR, but then it's a very oversimplification, um, but it sounds really, how to say, realistic, or maybe you can say very, um, it's a very well defined. I mean, when we say well defined, it's like maybe generally, but it's not really. You just like, yeah, it's still oversimplified anyway, but it just really sounds really cool to me. And then I just like, damn it. It made me also using like my own personality. Like I'm just a person who, you know, I see some surface of the logic, and then I will just kind of very hype, and then I will just, damn it, I believe it. You can say this also is my own model. Yeah, you can say like how my brain works, and then I get this information this way, and then I kind of like, damn, I have this goal, and then this goal trigger me to rethink about my sleep. Yeah, that's why I go ask the ChatGPT, and I get the answer, which is changing me go to sleep much in a stable time. And I think that time I really get the two specific component here. The first thing is that the light, actually it's not good, right? Just the sunlight, actually it's not good for you. And I was kind of trying to argue with that, like, why light will, why light important. Yeah. I don't forget how to explain, but maybe explain a little bit like this. It's like, oh, because your DNA, and then how it going to trigger to your body function, because your eyes, your eyes receive to the light, and then whatever going to changing how your brain works, how your brain going to release something differently. So it's like the light, it's like DNA thing, yeah. I mean, and the second thing is that that the sleeping, I mean, it's not second. The first thing is actually is that just like 30 minutes, like when we want to have a very stable sleeping rhythm. So what that means that you don't really want to change too much. You want to make sure every day exactly around that same time you sleep. It's very important. And so stable, how stable? Maybe like around 30 seconds plus minus. That's how I remember the mostly these two key points to the sleep. And as we know, sleep is the most important thing to your life, to your health. So and to be really frank here, so I'm changing. You can say I'm changing, but maybe like let's also talk about like why I want to live longer. We just keep finding the death here. So because very simple, because I want to know like a lot of people, they will actually say they want to live long, right? But I want to know the meaning of the universe. I think just like there's so many things that like you want to know the future, like what happened, like is it the world have alien, and like what this all about, what is the beginning of the universe, what's the ending, and what this all about, if that's the ending and beginning. And yeah, just like you have curiosity, right? Just trying to figure out this all. That means also again, right? Maybe that's because me and me, me is me. So I mean, I have this kind of maybe they are not important. Maybe they, yeah. What I'm trying to say, they are not important is trying to say is that the way that how I think, just like everyone, the way that they think have a blind spot, right? And that's what I call like you need to, that's your own model. So that's your model, you're like missing something, so you need to break your own model. But that blind spot sometimes will really make you have different way of thinking, because you're going to have that blind spot, and you're going to believe what you do. And then when you believe what you do, because due to the blind spot you can't see it, sometimes will help you definitely, but sometimes like this time, like maybe it will just like really make you excited on something. Maybe some people think that it's not that excited, maybe because they do not have the blind spot or whatever, or maybe they do have, or maybe anyway. But to be honest, even I know it. Like if you even tell me like, is it that meaningful for me to know? I mean, it's maybe not that meaningful for me to know, but it still really feel very excited to see the logic behind that actually. Just it's not like knowing about a story, but it's like you maybe unlock a new color, or maybe like just you trying to know the mystery. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's you just really always feel very very excited to see like even the future, like I don't know, future 10 or 100 years later. I mean, there's a lot of things can happen. Definitely not necessarily going to be, like always be progressing or happening, but you're still really going to see. I mean, a lot of new things will happen, and you really want to, um, just for now, you really want to take a look how that looks like. Just that simple. To be honest, not really too complicated. Just really, you can say just like looks, just like want to knowing something that unknown. Yeah, just that simple, I think. Yeah, and you want to know what's going to happen next, and yeah, that's the logic. That's not really that complicated, but just like you excited. I mean, this is a natural excited about the future. Naturally, very excited about the future. What future going to happen, and very positively excited about it. Yeah. And you will think like, so the future will be much better than today. Then you want to know how good that was. Just like you can see some people, they also like, I want to wear some, buy some expensive food, expensive things. I mean, that's pretty similar. But I mean, what should I say is that we don't really agree on the same thing. Obviously we don't, but we did really agree on the same pattern almost again and again, and always any people. And that's why, when we say like people are different, or each student are different, they are different, but only different by the subject, but the pattern was the same. That's why the way that I think of education differently. It's not like, we are different, but just you're really trying to understand, like trying to changing the people that you know, because the pattern was the same. And we're just trying to, maybe we're not really trying to change them, but just like trying to tell them like, hey, you can see this pattern can apply to that way and this way and that way, and using the environment